Hey, listen, by evening, you please create two microservices, two REST API calls. Just I will show you the overview about this REST API calls. One is a currency service microservice. Currency service. See here, you don't think too much about microservice because microservice are about REST API. We already done the multiple REST APIs regarding the Spring Boot, right? We discussed JPQL queries, native SQL queries, predefined methods, custom methods. We done already those all the multiple REST API calls. The same process. So you don't too much focus about the service creation and the accessing the data because service creation is REST control is common, service is common, repository is common, and status codes, everything is common. Just you need to focus on how the load balance is working, how the Eureka server is working, how the API gateway is working, how the resilience for circuit breaker is working, config server is working. Please focus on those areas, guys. That's why today you create the two microservices. One is the currency. See, this is the project overview. You are building a microservice architecture that perform the currency conversion using two independent services. Currency conversion using two independent services. See guys, one is a currency conversion service, one is a currency exchange service is there. Currency exchange service is there. See currency conversion service and currency exchange service I know. You send the request to currency conversion service because you given some $10 convert from the years to what INR. You given the input is like $10. From currency is what? From USD dollar to the, we need to convert what? INR. Give the quantity. Quantity is how much you given here? 10. So currency conversion service, you give the from currency to currency quantity. You give me the from currency to currency and quantity. And when you give the from currency to currency quantity, you expect the output like you should receive the output like ID is one auto generated here. From currency is USD, to currency is what? INR. Conversion rate is today is we have conversion rate 86 rupees, something like that. And quantity is how much amount? 10. Total amount is how much? Calculated amount is 865. Local date and time. Local date and time is when what time you are converted the total amount, right? What time you converted total amount. See guys, here you given the ID. Once you given the input is like from currency to currency and what? Quantity. From currency to currency and what? Quantity. When you get the from currency to currency quantity, guys, you give me the from currency to currency quantity. I don't have the exchange rate. I will call another microservice exchange service is there. Exchange service contains the exchange rates. Exchange service contains what rates ma? Exchange rates. This is the exchange service. Exchange service contains only exchange rates. So currency conversion is responsible for the taking the inputs and convert the total amount, like you will get the total amount. But to convert the USD to INR, we require what amount is your exchange rate value. But this currency conversion service contains exchange rate value, no exchange rate value, no exchange rate value. The exchange rate value is presented through what? Currency exchange service. Service is currency exchange service. You got it? Huh? So the client will send the request to what service? Currency. We client will send the request to what service? Currency conversion service. They are giving inputs are what? From currency to currency quantity. And we should get the output is this one. But to convert this from currency to currency means today exchange rate required. How much is the dollar value today is right? Today dollar value is what? How much? We don't. That's what guys you please get the exchange rate. The currency conversion service should call what service? Exchange service. Should call what service?
Exchange service.
Should call the exchange service to get the exchange rate value. Once you got the exchange rate value, then you can calculate the total amount and if you get the total local date and time and what date you converted the amount and all. And you give this response to the client and same response stored in the database also. You give this response to what? Client and same response should be stored in what? Database also. Because I need to store like today how many conversions are happening in my project. That's what you should store this data into what? Database. Wait, that's it guys. We done the process. So today by evening, you please convert this worker, right? This how many microservices are. All of you create a new workspace. Create what? New workspace. So don't say like, sir, I already have a workspace like worst answers. You create the new workspace. Create the new workspace. Create the new workspace for microservices. To create the new workspace for the microservices, By evening class in your workspace, you should have how many microservices now? Two microservices. One is what? Currency conversion. Second one is what? Currency exchange. See guys, two microservices should be available. Two microservices should be available in your data. So create a new workspace for the microservices. Project review, like you are building the two microservices. Project scenario, you can write better. Project what scenario? Project scenario is what? You are building the microservice architecture that perform the currency conversion using two independent microservices. What are the two independent microservices means? One is a currency, what's the reason of currency conversion service, one is a currency exchange service. Sir, currency conversion service, exchange service, okay, sir. And what dependencies we need to add to this project? What dependencies we need to add this per project? Tell me guys, what dependencies mandatory required? Tell me. Don't like too many dependencies. You already done the validations. You don't have validations here again. What are basic dependencies? Tell me. Web required mandatory. No? Long term required mandatory. So you write the data JPEG because after conversion I want to store this data into what? Database. So that we go for what? Data JPEG required. And use the MySQL database. I think you have the MySQL database in your system, right? Use the MySQL database. Okay? Web, Lombok, data JPEG, MySQL, and you add the dev tools also. You add the dev tools for the auto reloads. Dev tools for what? Auto reloads. Dev tools is required. 5 dependency you added. Web dependency, Lombok dependency, data JPEG dependency, MySQL dependency, dev tool dependency you add. Yesterday class we discussed microservice architecture, right? In architecture we have the like multiple concepts are implemented, right? So guys, in the concepts, I want to register this microservice into where? Eureka server, right? I want to register my microservice into where? Eureka server. Then you write the dependency like, see, you need to register into the Eureka server. Then you become what? Eureka server, Eureka client. Eureka client. Eureka client, Eureka server. Eureka client. Then you guys becomes what? Eureka server, Eureka client. Eureka client. Server is server is different. You are registering into server means what? Then you become server, you becomes a client. You becomes what? That's what guys, you please add one dependency like Eureka client dependency. See guys, you have the Eureka server dependency also, but you have this microservice is what? Eureka server, Eureka client. Eureka client, this microservice is Eureka client. This microservice is what? Eureka server. Array, you are sleeping, say Eureka client server. The sync is not happened. This is what? Eureka server, Eureka client. Eureka client. That is Eureka server. It becomes what? Server, right? That microservice becomes what? Server. Then end user is a client, but this becomes what? Server, right? That is the reason, guys. That is he said like finally server, right? Then you becomes what? Eureka server, Eureka client server. Eureka client. You are the Eureka client because you register in what? Eureka server. Then you are the Eureka clients. Eureka client, guys, we need to add the Eureka client. I told load balancer here, you need to add the load balancing dependency. What is load balancer guys here? Equally distributing the network load to what? Among one server, multiple servers. Load balancing dependencies you add. What dependency ma? Load balancing. Eureka client you add, load balancing you add. And I told that application health metrics and application health, how to we have a pulse rate, heartbeats and all, right? How to get that one activator. You please add a dependency like activator dependency. What dependency guys? Yeah, activator. That is activator dependency you add guys. Eureka client, the load balancing, activator. Then I told the admin server, right? What admin server will do? All activators are showing in what? Admin server. Activator means one microservice health. 10 microservices health we need to show in what? Admin server, right? Admin server. It means admin server is different. Admin server is placed in present somewhere else. Then you becomes what? Admin server, admin client. That is admin server. Then your microservice becomes what? Admin server, admin client. Eureka server is there. Then your microservice becomes what? Eureka server, Eureka client. Then you becomes Eureka client. Then you becomes Eureka client and bottom admin client. Okay, that's what you please add the admin bottom client. Admin what? Client. Like that we have multiple services, guys. See how many dependencies we added as of now? Web dependency, Lombok dependency, data JPA, MySQL, DevTools. These are regular terms. Then microservices we are adding what? Eureka client, load balancing, activator, admin client, admin client. How many dependencies we added here? Huh? 9 dependencies are good. How many dependencies? 9. One more you can add it. Totally becomes what? 10. Count is important. That's what, guys, you can add the one more dependency to handle the fault tolerance. I told you we need to handle the fault tolerance in microservice, right? For the fault tolerance we go for what? Resilience forces something like one dependency is there. Hey, you please add these 10 dependencies, guys. Generally this project required 15 dependencies almost. How many dependencies are? 50. As of now, I added how many dependencies are? 10. In future classes, I will add Redis server dependency, config server dependency, and what? Jipkin dependency, and like multiple dependencies I will add, guys. But as of now, you add what? How many dependencies guys here? 10 dependencies. 10 or 9? 10 you got one is what? Web, Lombok, data JPA, MySQL, DevTools. So 5. Eureka, you becomes Eureka, microservice becomes what? Eureka server, Eureka client. Then your microservice becomes Eureka client to admin client to tell me Eureka client and what? Admin client and activator. Activator and activator first we need to go for what? Activator and load balancing and what? Resilience project. Hey, this is like currency conversion service, guys. Currency bottom up? Currency conversion service. Even currency exchange service also you please add all dependencies, no problem at all. Because he also required what? Web dependency, Lombok dependency, data JP dependency, MySQL dependency. These are all the dependencies you please add for what? Currency exchange service also. Then how many microservices are ready? Total 2. One is what? Currency conversion. Second one is what? Currency exchange. Hey, to the currency conversion, what is the input he will give? What is the input? From currency to currency. You give me the from currency to currency quantity. What is the output you are expecting? This is you should receive the response like this. And the same response should be stored in the database. Same response should be stored in where? Database. That's all. This is the from currency information, guys. We should have the clarity what microservice is doing, what operation. From currency is doing currency conversion service is doing what operation? Converting what? Converting what? One exchange service to another. Like conversion process happen. But to convert the data, to calculate the amount, we require what rate? Exchange rate. Exchange rate is there or not there? Exchange rate is not there, guys. Exchange rate is not there. This microservice should connect with what? Other microservice. That is exchange rate, guys. Good. Because after that, see guys, this is exchange rate conversion microservice we do. This is a provider microservices and it contains a static conversion rate, database conversion rate, fine, good. That is the data, guys. And here you please make this is the get call. This is what get call. What is the get call we should do for this one is here you can check the data again. This is the currency. What service is here? Exchange from USD to Anna. This is called exchange. Exchange, guys. Sir, exchange okay, sir, but for the exchange service, currency conversion is done. You write the code from currency to currency quantity you give. This is the output you expected. This is the output you expected. That is okay, fine. Currency exchange service. Currency exchange service, you give the URL API/v1/exchange from what? USD to INR. Very nice. Because exchange conversion is very big. I'll add some extra information here. But extra information you give what the URL you give it, tell me API/v1/ exchange from USD to INR. Then how many inputs you are giving? Two. One is what? USD to what? INR. Yes, USD to INR means. So I will give one file like what is the purpose of what is what purpose of what is the purpose of here I introduce the two files guys. One is a schema.sql file, data.sql file. How many files ma? Two files. What are two files? Schema.sql, data.sql. So what the schema.sql file will do? What the data.sql file will do? Schema.sql file and what? Data.sql file. See guys, in real time what happened for the in the development stage, I don't have the real database as you. I need to create some dummy tables like 10 tables I want to create with the dummy data for the testing purpose. Because when I develop the code to have the real data, not only dummy data I need to work on dummy data. That's what I require what dummy tables and dummy data I need to insert into the database. That's what guys to insert create the dummy tables to create the dummy data. To insert what? Dummy data. It's not like we are going to database and you're writing the queries like insert to insert. It's not like that. We have the two files like we should create these files under the resources folder guys. Which folder ma? Create the under what folder? Resource. SRC main. Tell me SRC what? Main resources. Create change part of it. SRC main resources. How many files? Two files. One is what? Schema.sql file. Schema.sql file contains a table creations. How many tables you want? You write all the tables in a schema.sql file. How many tables you want? You can create what? In schema.sql file, write the table creation queries and Spring Boot execute this file and application starts automatically. Sir, I want dummy data, sir. You create the 10 tables, right? For those tables, you want to insert the 1000 records. Write the 1000 record queries inside the data.sql file. Data.sql file contains the DML queries, guys. Queries are DML queries. These two files, what happened, when application started, schema.sql file, data.sql file, both files are automatically executed. You will get the 10 tables and 1000 records, dummy records before starting application. Before starting what? Application. Generally, the data comes from the client, but as of now, clients are there or not there? Not there. Clients are not there means I need to work for what data here? Dummy data. Data guys, dummy data. We need to work for the dummy data. That's all. To work with the dummy data, what files required guys here? One is the schema.sql file. Second one is the data.sql file. Hey, see, you give me the currency exchange rate. Who is calling the currency exchange rate? Currency conversion. Currency conversion is calling currency exchange rate. How many inputs you will give? Currency exchange rate. What is the URL it contains? Sir? What the URL it contains? Sir? Huh? How many inputs you will to currency exchange rate? Two inputs. What are two inputs? Sir? Huh? Currency conversion is giving how many inputs to exchange rate? 2 or 3? 3. What are 3? From to quantity, right? Yes. From to quantity. నేర్చుకుంటాం చూసి అది చూడు బాగా చదువుతున్నారు got it right? నిద్రపోతున్నారా? క్వశ్చన్ ఏంటమ్మా ఏం చెప్తారమ్మా ఆన్సర్ అంతా హైదరాబాద్ క్వశ్చన్ ఏంటి కరెన్సీ కన్వర్షన్ ఈస్ గివింగ్ హౌ మెనీ ఇన్పుట్స్ టు ఎక్స్చేంజ్ అని అడిగారు హౌ మెనీ ఇన్పుట్స్ అరే మీరు చెప్పింది కరెక్టే కాదు హౌ మెనీ ఇన్పుట్స్ యూ సెడ్ 2 దట్స్ 2 కరెక్ట్ వాళ్ళు ఎక్కడో కన్వర్షన్ దగ్గర ఉన్నారు ఇంకా ఆడికి కాదు మీ ఇన్పుట్ ఈస్ నాట్ టు ద కరెన్సీ కన్వర్షన్ ఇన్పుట్ టు వాట్ ఎక్స్చేంజ్ exchange can from to. When you give the from and to the exchange rate, what he will give? Exchange value. Exchange value. From to another one. You sleep better. You better sleep. That is exchange rate. Exchange rate expecting how many inputs are 2. What are the 2 inputs? From to. From and what? To. మీరు కరెన్సీ కన్వర్షన్ అమ్మా మీకు 3 ఇన్పుట్ సిస్టమ్ కదా, మీరు కరెన్సీ కన్వర్షన్ తీసుకోండి. కరెన్సీ కన్వర్షన్ యూ ఎక్స్పెక్టింగ్ హౌ మెనీ ఇన్పుట్స్ అమ్మా? 3 ఇన్పుట్స్. What are 3 inputs? From, to, quantity. Then you need to calculate the amount అమ్మా. Girls. To calculate the amount, do you have the exchange value ఉందమ్మా? లేదు, exchange value ఏ దగ్గర ఉంది? Exchange value present in what? Voice. If exchange value present in the voice, what you have to do? అలా అడుక్కోండి. అలా అడుక్కోవాలంటే then what the input you have to give? వాళ్ళు అడుక్కోవడానికి క్వాంటిటీ కూడా వాళ్ళకి ఇస్తారా? వాళ్ళు ఏం చేసుకుంటారు క్వాంటిటీ? Who has to calculate the amount? Who has to calculate the amount? మీరు ఏ సర్వీస్ అమ్మా? ఏ సర్వీస్ కదా అనుకోండి. కరెన్సీ వాట్ ఇన్పుట్స్ యూ విల్ గెట్? వాట్ ఆర్ 3 ఇన్పుట్స్? మీరు నిద్రపోండి పర్లేదు. జ్యోతి బ్యాచ్ యూ ఎంజాయ్. యూ ఎంజాయ్. మీరు చెప్పండి అమ్మా పర్లేదు. 4 కోళ్ళు. వాట్ ఇన్పుట్స్ యూ ఆర్ గెటింగ్? లాస్ట్ లో స్టాండర్డ్. ఎన్ని చైర్లు ఖాళీ ఇవ్వండి, మీరు లాస్ట్ లోకి ఎందుకు వెళ్ళారమ్మా? స్టాండర్డ్ ముందు రావద్దు, అక్కడ నిలబడండి పర్లేదు. చెప్పండి, మీరు చెప్పండి. వాట్ ఇన్పుట్ యూ గెట్ ఫ్రమ్ ద క్లయింట్? ఫ్రమ్, టు, to quantity. You need to calculate total amount. To calculate the total amount, what you require? Exchange rate required. Exchange rate ఎవరి దగ్గర ఉందమ్మా? Exchange, these people, boys have the exchange rate. Then you send the request to what? Exchange rate. You send the request to exchange rate, then what inputs you have to give? From to, well, from to ఒకటే ఇవ్వండి. You give the from and to boys. Boys based on the from and to, because you have already exchange rates in database. You have already what? Exchange rates. Boys, you have the exchange rates, guys. You have the exchange rate. You please create, execute these 2 commands. You don't execute this, guys. This should be placed in the what file, amma? Data.scale file and the schema.scale file. Schema.scale file. This is the currency exchange class. What class, amma? Currency exchange class, which is like currency conversion rate from currency to currency conversion rate. See, because exchange people, you please check it. This is your class. Your class contains how many values? From to exchange rate. See guys, this is a USD to INR. A 1001 is ID. Keep aside. ID. This is what? Conversion rate. This is like from to. Like 2 from to 5. That's fine. That you can know clarity about that points. This is the files you are executing already. This is the exchange people. You have the 2 files. What are 2 files? Schema.scale file, data.scale file. It means when the project is running, I'm talking about what file? I'm talking about the currency conversion people, exchange people are. Exchange people. You have already 2 files. Data.scale file and what? Schema.scale file. When you run the project, then what happened here? Table is created. I have 5 conversions already created in the database. Conversions already created in what? Database. Already these conversions are created in the database. You guys have all the conversions with you. It is all what? Conversion. And you have the URL. What the URL tell me? You have exchange slash API slash v1 slash exchange slash from to. This URL is called by conversion people. Conversion people will give this USD to INR. Then what you guys will do? You have already conversion rate, right? You return the what? You return the exchange value to the people. The exchange value all given. Sir, where is my exchange value, sir? You guys don't insert any, like, you don't have any inputs and outputs, guys. Do you have any post to call something like that? No. Because post to call to save the data. But you are saving the data by giving input, dummy data you are setting up. Dummy data. Using what files? Schema and SQL file enter, data and SQL file. It means exchange service people, you have only one call. What is the call? Get call. That get call will return what? Exchange value. Okay, exchange value. See guys, this is a URL. This URL is called by, tell me guys here, this URL is what? Called by, who will call this URL? This URL is called by, this URL is called by conversion. This URL is called by what? Conversion. Conversion service. This URL is called by conversion service. When this URL is called by conversion service, this URL is called by what? Conversion service. Then, this URL is called by what? Conversion service. This URL is called by what service? Conversion service. Then what will make us here? Takes the inputs, takes the what? This URL is called by conversion service. Inputs are what? Inputs are from to. Inputs are what? From to. And outputs is what? Output is what? Conversion rate. Exchange rate or conversion rate, right? Just you can write the exchange rate. What write exchange rate. మీరు ఏంటమ్మా ముందు చేయండి, నేను ఖాళీ పెట్టి మీరు వెనకెందుకు కూర్చుంటారు? ఇక్కడ వచ్చి రోజు వెనకే కూర్చుంటున్నారు, అది చేయడానికి ఖాళీ ముందు ఫస్ట్ services. That's all. How you like the services one? Two. One is what? Currency. service, Amma? Amma? How many inputs you will get? What are the three inputs? From what to quantity. You need to calculate the amount. But do you have the exchange data? Where is exchange rate? Exchange service. You guys, you have the exchange rates. But are you inserting the data or dummy data? Dummy data. You write the data as SQL file and what schema as SQL file. Data as SQL file and schema as SQL file. You have the what data? Dummy data. You write the dummy data is inserted. Then you got the URL. What URL? From one to URL. So, sir, currency conversion people, you call this URL, you give the conversion rate to them. Once they receive the conversion rate, you calculate the amount and return the amount to the client. Return the amount to what? Client. That's all. That you finish. That is what you finish. So you got it up? Any questions? Then you got the inputs. What inputs, what outputs you want? You please ask now. If anything is you want. Create the new workspace. Number one. Scenario is what you are building the microservice architecture. Two services you should create in a workspace. One is a currency conversion service. Inputs are what guys here? From currency to currency quantity. Output is like this. To get this input, definitely required one class. You are giving the from currency to currency quantity means to hold that inputs, you require one class. You require what? Class. That class name also I will give. That class name also I will give. You please no worries. Currency request. This is the inputs they will give. From currency to currency, that is a class. Then this class you have. You don't write the from and to because from is a keyword and to is a keyword in the database. Then again you get the problem. You write the clear word from currency and what? To currency. You write the from to like this, you will get errors. Then you write what? From currency to currency. This is a currency request. Currency request. You got the currency request. This is the output you should give. To give the output, guys, you please create the class for that. Currency response. This is a currency request. This is a currency response. Currency request and what? Currency. This is a currency request class. In the same way, you write the class for what? Currency request, currency response. Currency response. Currency response class we can do. That's all. And that is like currency. What we can say here. This is a URL. Sorry, for this currency conversion, let me give the URL. What is the URL for this currency conversion? What is the URL? Yeah, this is the conversion value. This is what value? Your conversion value. See guys, when you get the conversion value, this is the URL the client will call. The client will call the URL is what? Tell me guys here. This is called what URL will come? You will give the inputs and you'll get what? Output. The data will be saved in what? Database. You give the input, right? Input means what mapping gets you right? Post. Post mapping, you write the API slash version 1 slash conversion slash conversion. That is up to the base URL. Up to this one is the API slash v1 slash conversion is the base URL you write. And what you can say? What you can say your amount. Amount even the API slash v1 slash what? Conversion. Conversion slash final amount. Is that URL you can call the final amount. When you call this URL, you are giving the input is what? Tell me guys, you are giving input is what? From what to what? This is a post mapping. You give this input and you get this output. Input and what? Output. Then there is a conversion, currency conversion. Currency what? Conversion. But as of now, guys, you got how many inputs now? 3 inputs. What are the inputs? From to quantity. But you do one thing. Actually, you need to call the what service? Exchange service. They will get what value? Exchange value. They will get what value? They will get exchange value. But as of now, you don't call it. Evening class, I will call it. You want exchange value, right? You take the static value, exchange value like 87 rupees, 86 rupees. Communication, I'll tell you in the evening using PM client. Using what? PM client. Because you don't know communication, right? You want what value? Exchange value. First, you take the dummy exchange value, return the output. Return what? Output. That is a one URL. then your get call is there. Your get call is called by currency conversion. But as of now, currency conversion not there. You please check, give the inputs like from to, you check the output is coming properly or not. Then how many URLs are there? Just two URLs. One is the currency conversion final amount URL. Second one is what exchange URL. What exchange URL? API slash v1 slash one URL. When you view this URL, you should get the amount. But as of now, communication is there or not there? Not there. Separate services. You want exchange value, take a static value. We take what value, guys? Static value. That's it. But you guys don't insert from currency to currency and exchange rates in the database. You don't insert. Dummy value should be inserted automatically from what file to what file. What file? Schema SQL file and data SQL file. I clearly give the schema SQL file. Just this is a currency exchange table. This is a currency what? Exchange table. This is what? ID. This is what? Conversion date. This is what? From currency. This is what? To currency. This is a data SQL file which contains what? The values. But the value is very same. First value, second value, third value. Well, that's it right on the board. Complete. Any questions? Any questions? Any inputs or you want any clarity about the inputs or you got the clarity? Just think like girls are what? Currency conversion, exchange conversion. How many inputs they got? 3. From to quantity. What they want? They generally they should call the boys. But as of now, boys are called or not called. You take the static value, written out. The same output is stored in the database also. Stored in what? Database. What you guys will do? You have what rate? Exchange rates. The exchange rates you are giving inputs or dummy values are. The dummy values you are inserting a data SQL file. Data SQL file. Schema dot SQL file. Data SQL file and what? Schema dot SQL file. That's it, guys. That is information. Any questions? Questions on here? Any questions in how? No. Then write the points. Create the new workspace for microservices. ఎనీ డౌట్స్ ఏదైనా డౌట్స్ ఉంటే అడిగిన తర్వాత సాయంత్రం నాకు అర్థం కాల నాకు ఫ్లో ఇన్పుట్స్ అర్థం కాల తప్పని చెప్పదు అందుకనే బ్యాగ్ లో పెట్టుకున్నది మొబైల్. All of you keep the